Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth, and fancy seeing you here in June. A very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. Are you feeling charitable? Then smash that subscribe button and that like button, and please do follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad, and welcome to Friday's edition of the dceu Daily. If you're in America and watching this right now, you're eating your breakfast. If you're in the UK, you're probably having a light cup of tea and a scone, and who knows what you're doing over in Sweden. You're all very welcome to be part of Friday's edition of the dceu Daily. Now, another day, another report about another dceu character being developed for another movie, and today it's Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, and this is an exclusive from Jeremy Conrad. Now, I don't know about Jeremy, and I don't know what he knows and what he doesn't know. Let's take a look at this. Warner has begun early discussions about a new project featuring Harley Quinn. This year's we've seen Harley Quinn on the big screen in Birds of Prey. Her DC Universe animated series is awesome, and she'll return to theatres just August in The Suicide Squad. But it sounds like, what? Just August? That doesn't even make sense. Not this August, mate. Next August. Anyway, in The Suicide Squad. James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. But it sounds like Warner isn't waiting long to get the next big screen Harley project moving. In talking with multiple sources today, I've learned that Warner has begun very early talks and discussions about what the next big screen Harley project will be. There's absolutely no word yet on exactly what the project is, although I'm sure fans are crossing their fingers for Gotham City Sirens. That's interesting. A couple of years ago, back before Birds of Prey was really turned into Harley Quinn movie, there were rumours going around beginning with that movie Warner wanted to feature Harley in some way every year in a DC film. 2020 is Birds of Prey. 2021 would be The Suicide Squad, which means whatever they're talking about now could end up coming as early as 2022. There are currently 3 DC films set for 2022, Shazam 2, The Flash, and Aquaman 2. So if it ends up being 2022 movie, it could be an addition to the list or replace one of those that could theoretically have to move. No, nothing's going to move. Nothing is going to move, Jeremy. Whatever it ends up being, this is all extremely early, but it's good news for Harley fans, as WB is still completely dedicated to the character on the big screen. Well, interesting. Jeremy, like Deadline, doesn't really add much kind of meat to his article. He doesn't really say anything for us to say, wow, wow, wow. So we know when literally David Ayer was running the whole of the Suicide Squad universe, it was going to be Suicide Squad. It was going to be Harley and Joker, and it was going to be Gotham City Sirens. This was really, really exciting and a much better way to go than force-feeding her in with the Birds of Prey. The Birds of Prey could have been its own thing, right? Those characters could have been their own things. They could have crossed over with Harley, Joker, and all of that, right? Because they're from the same universe. That would have been cool. This was a dumb idea, right? And we know what trouble they got into. Margot Robbie wanted to be in total control of her Harley Quinn character. They gave her the responsibility. She absolutely messed it up, got the wrong director involved. Not that Kathy's a bad director, just that she didn't have the experience on a project this huge, and it went terribly wrong. Walter Hamada had to come in, bring another director, obviously the director from John Wick, to fix the things she was incapable of doing. And in the end, the film was just about presentable, and they pretty much got away with it, but they didn't make a huge profit. Old news, that's history, right? So that's what was originally going to happen. Now, there's a lot of clues to things that may be going back to what originally happened. And why do I think this? Because I think, do you remember when the Flash movie was going to be Flashpoint? That it wasn't going to be Flashpoint, and then they got rid of those writer-directors, right? From whatever film they did originally. I forgot what it was called, right? Lights Out, or whatever it's called anyway, right? So now it's gone back pretty much to a Flashpoint movie, not a copy and pasted Flashpoint movie. So there's a clue already there that they're going back to the original DCEU plan. So it makes sense that after James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, not only will we get Gotham City Sirens, that we may get Harley and the Joker. And actually, they're already in talks with Jared Leto. Now. David Ayer is a very, very interesting chap. A very interesting chap. And I've got a little quote from him. And he also posted a very naughty picture, which I'm going to show you. Not a pornographic one. Clean up your dirty minds, for crying out loud. Right? I'm sure there's children watching this. Right? Anyway, he put up a poster saying, basically, David Ayer's Suicide Squad 2021 on HBO Max. I'll show it to you. And actually, I can't believe yesterday I forgot to show you that pic of Darkseid, or Yuxus, should we be more accurate, that Zack posted on the day of the HBO Max launch. And yesterday, AT&T's official Twitter account also kind of reacted to that and said, this is really exciting. So it does look like things are going back to what they were originally was. So and I just feel that David Ayer is doing a lot of talking, and I just feel that he's maybe getting his hands on that kingdom a little bit. But James Gunn is someone that Warner Media won't want to let go of. After he's finished with Guardians of the Galaxy 3, they will want him back, and there must be some agreements in place already. So again, I go back to my HBO Max theory. Maybe David Ayer will do Gotham City Sirens and Harley and the Joker for your HBO Max. Now, someone started arguing with me, and I ignored them because I'm not in the mood to argue. I'm in a celebratory mood since this Zack Snyder's Justice League was announced. He says, why would Cavill be on HBO Max? Why would they give him a Superman on there? They've got heckling on the CW. Why would they reduce him? You're not reducing anyone to HBO Max. The budgets are just as big as they are cinematically, right? And there's a big situation here. And that really takes me to my next point, where we were told by the HBO Max head that the reason they took so long to announce Zack Snyder's Justice League is because so many legal things had to be ironed out. Really? It took you from November, when you saw us trending on Twitter, right, to May to announce it. No. The reason it was announced a week before launch is because that was advantageous marketing-wise, right? That's the only reason. They got the hype engines up, and they're getting more subscribers than they ever imagined. No. They took from November to May to announce this because they were talking about the future of the DCEU, the very future that I'm predicting on HBO Max and cinematically, right? I don't believe Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman is part of the HBO Max DCEU. She will stay cinematic, as will Jason Momoa's Aquaman. It works. It's as simple as that. Now, the other project, the Aquaman spin-off they're working on, right, could actually end up on HBO Max. And I also believe that maybe Patty Jenkins and Jeff Johns' Wonder Woman spin-off set on Fantasy Island, Themyscira, could also be an HBO Max property. So these are the things that I believe they've been trying to iron out since November. I don't think we're ever going to get a situation where Zack is running the whole thing. But he certainly could have a little edge on a little bit on HBO Max. And this is what I was talking about months ago when we were begging for Warner Brothers to bring Zack back and release his version of Justice League. There's so much potential here, right? It's unbelievable. And then we go to Grace Randolph. Yes, our old friend Grace Randolph did a video reacting to Deadline's Man of Steel article, or Henry Cavill kind of going around like a gypsy, going from film to film, right? Again, she was giving Henry shade. She said he's a very difficult person to work with. He's been negotiating his fee out of grief for 3 years. That's not what happened, Grace. For 3 years, he's been trying to get a Man of Steel sequel. And from the moment we saw him Zoom with Zack, just before the announcement of his Justice League being released, it was obvious that something has been signed. Now, I don't know if Deadline a Warner Media fed Deadline some kind of thing saying we have kind of got an agreement in principle for him to turn up in a couple of movies first of all, and maybe the Man of Steel sequel hasn't been ironed out yet. It doesn't mean it's not happening. That's what I'm saying. And there's so many variables here that we don't know what's going on. What's going to happen to Zack? Some people are saying to me, well, they've got to wait to see how Zack Snyder's Justice League is received on HBO Max. Listen to me. Warner Media is a massive company. Zack Snyder's Justice League wouldn't even be happening if they didn't know how they were going to do. From the moment they saw what happened on November 17th, 2019, they thought, yes, yes, yes. Their accountants worked it out. They don't do anything until they work things out financially. And they said, yes, this is a goer. This is going to work. This is going to make us massive, right? And then they would have decided what they're going to do with the rest of the universe. What's going to be cinematic and what's going to be part of HBO Max. This is going to happen. This will happen. And this is best for everyone. You know, Zack doing his thing on HBO Max, them doing their thing theatrically. It's a win-win. There's two sides of the fandom, unfortunately. The people who can't stand Zack's stuff and the people who want to see James Wan's and James Gunn's stuff, you know, and David F. Sandberg's Shazam. So everybody wins on both sides. Do you understand me? Now, there's a lot of confusion about the global rights of HBO Max or any streaming service. So I'm going to do you a big favour and explain it all to you. Right. In the UK, for example, Sky TV have got a big arrangement with HBO, and they've had it for years. And this is what their channel Sky Atlantic is. It pretty much, it airs all the HBO content, including Game of Thrones. Now, someone asked someone at Sky, and someone at Sky says, well, it's not going to happen for 5 years. HBO Max isn't going to happen for 5 years. All their content is going to come through our Sky Atlantic channel. I don't think they've got the right end of the stick. Whoever from Sky was talking about it, and I don't think they had the time to get the proper information. I think more like it will be in the UK next year, but maybe you'll only be able to get it via Sky TV. You can get Disney Plus through Sky TV, but you can also get it through your consoles and your smart TVs and all of that. So maybe that will be a thing. But I expect HBO Max to be rolled out in the next 6 months. And don't forget, we've got, about a year to Zack Snyder's Justice League is streamed on HBO Max. And who knows when actually David Ayer's Suicide Squad's going to be streamed. It would have to be before, but that can be all next year. So there's plenty of time to roll out this platform. Now, a lot of people ask me, why aren't streaming services just rolled out globally altogether? Because there's international global copyright fees. So if they roll it out all at once, they've got maybe millions of dollars or whatever currency they're going to pay in. They've got to pay all this out, and governments, they don't want to do it. And this is why they roll it out slowly, first in the home domestic territory, and then slowly all over the world. I mean, Disney Plus have been really good. They've rolled it globally. I think it's coming to India soon or whatever, but it's pretty much nearly in every country. There's nothing to worry about. Everyone around the world will be able to see Zack Snyder's Justice League. But these things are done slowly. Believe you me, I have tried to get access to it here in Cyprus. It is near impossible. Basically, even if you get a VPN, you have to have an American bank account. So when you try and subscribe, well, they won't let you do it. So it's a non-starter, unfortunately. We're all just going to have to be patient. So basically, right, with all these kind of articles, this, to me, I just don't, he's obviously reached out to Warner Brothers and they've said, yes, there are plans, and that's it. Right, this is what's not going to happen to the next appearance of Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn. Right, we know she's next in James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. She will not ever again have creative control over this character. They gave her a chance and she blew it. Kathy Yan will not be involved again unless they can give her some offshoot or something. Maybe again on HBO Max, because she is a capable filmmaker and a storyteller, but that kind of cinematic project, has to earn money. You see, if it was up to companies like Disney and Warner Media, everything would be streaming now. It's easy. They don't have to get involved with cinema companies or theatres. They can roll everything out on their platform and they make more money in the long run. You see, it's all very well making $2 billion from an Avengers movie, but what happens with a streaming service? Subscriptions, sponsorships, subscriptions and sponsorships. It's a rollover all the time, right? It's easy. It's easier than having the cinematic thing. That's the future for them. That's the future. Now we're hearing that all the cinema chains, the big ones, will be opening in July. That's just in time for Christopher Nolan's Tenet. Again, very exciting, which means we will finally see Wonder Woman 84. Is it in August? In August, which is extremely exciting. So good news about cinemas reopening, and hopefully we're seeing the end scale of COVID-19. But going back to these future plans, and there's another question, of course, Ben Affleck as Batman. Because for Zack to finish his whole arc, he needs Ben to come back, which would give Ben the opportunity to do his own Batman movie with Deathstroke. I don't know where Ben is at. I don't know if there's discussions. AT&T have hinted, again, more opportunities to have that end of it on HBO Max. And then the further questions of how they're going to do this, how they're going to split up the franchise, what's going to happen in Wonder Woman 84, Grace Randall's prediction of a canon change, and then the Flashpoint movie, which of course is somehow going to change the canon. That's obvious. They could split the timeline in two. Some elements, Snyder's verse could be here, but of course, some Snyder characters could be trapped in the other part of the multiverse. You don't know. As I say, so many variables that Access Media just don't know about. So I expect two Batmans, Robert Pattinson and Ben Affleck. I expect that to happen. I expect two Supermans, right? Superman, whatever. Now we know that J.J. Abrams is hands-on, moulding the clay for his Justice League Dark high-end TV show on HBO Max. There's no reason why he can't introduce his Superman in the Justice League Dark TV series, then bring him to his own movie, right? We just don't know. We all know why J.J. Abrams got involved with Warner Media. We all know that. He wants to be involved with Superman, right? So Justice League Dark is his first project. He will get a Superman, whether it's a Superman movie or not. He's definitely going to get his own version of Superman. You've got to stop thinking one-dimensional, because Walter Hamada and these other creatives since November have been sitting there thinking what to do with the problem that is Zack Snyder. Bin him, keep him, bin him, keep him. HBO Max is a great opportunity to actually have a place for Zack and have a place for all these other versions of the DCEU. And actually, it's really, really exciting. And I think these are the discussions that have been made since November. These are not new things. And it's funny to see this clickbait article from Comrade. It's funny to see what Deadline were doing. It's funny to actually know they actually have no access anymore and don't know what the bigger plan for the DCEU is. So as I say, you've got to stop thinking one-dimensionally, because this is bigger than we think. And there's going to be big announcements in the next couple of months. And you're going to have to be prepared for what's going to be announced, because it's massive. All of a sudden, the DCEU is going to be huge. And can you hear that? It's very quiet over at Marvel Studios. Who knows what they're going to announce, because it's going to have to be big to top what Warner Media have planned for the DCEU. I want to draw your attention to Boss Logic. He's showing us some Black Adam kind of artwork, which now we know that The Rock and The Rock's people approached Boss Logic to do some stuff for Black Adam. Now, Boss Logic has been involving Superman in a lot of that artwork. So let's just take a look at this, right? I've closed up here. So where are we, right? Where are we? Now, if you look down now, there's Black Adam, right? And Superman's above him. Now, yesterday, our friend from Heroic Hollywood, Humberto Gonzalez, again was saying, no plans for Man of Steel 2, and Black Adam won't be one of the movies that Superman will show up in. Again, that is not the noises that we've been hearing for the past 6 months to a year. I think it's set in stone that Cavill's Superman will definitely be in that movie. Imagine Cavill's Superman meeting these original Justice Society of America heroes. It will be iconic. I think it's going to happen. We shall see about that. But Boss Logic hasn't just been doing that. No, he's been going with Suicide Squad stuff, right? So Boss Logic is an awesome guy, by the way. Look at this one. Look at this one. Katana. Oh, yes. And she's possessed. Get it? Like David Ayer told us she would have been, right? Wow. So some great stuff as well there. So, look, it's very exciting to be a DC fan right now. So many rumours, so much stuff in development, so many great creatives. It's like I don't know what to talk about next because there's so many things being thrown at us. So exciting. So brilliant. Ray Porter showed us this, right? He got this yesterday, he reckons. So that's some artwork from Justice League, and I think that's his costume from Justice League. Pretty awesome, right? Hope he doesn't mind me screenshotting it. Bit late now, Ray. Sorry, mate. Now, someone said something to David Ayer, and this is what he... is this 31 weeks ago? Was it 31 weeks ago he posted this? We probably already read it. But let's read it again, because I think David is different class when someone comes at him. I'm sorry it affects you in such a negative way. Please know I wanted nothing more than to create something iconic, beautiful and lasting. The goal of any filmmaker is to create a strong and lasting impression. The worst outcome would be to make no lasting imprint. The fact that my film has caused you so much pain tells me that you yourself might be in pain. Film is a mirror of our inner worlds. Life can be beautiful and amazing. I hope you can feel less pain. God bless you. The guy's different class though, isn't he? He really is. He's basically like slaying him, but doing it in a nice, polite way. Absolutely fantastic. And where are we? Where are we? Let's finally enjoy this. This is what Zack Snyder posted the other day. So that is a picture of Euxus, young Darkseid, right? And obviously that's Apocalypse, right? I'm correct in that. So it's just a stunning piece, a little piece of what the Snyder Cut will be. Now, that got me to thinking, how much of Euxus and Darkseid are we getting in this film? Are we going to see Darkseid's total origin story, which would be amazing? Or think this, wouldn't it be awesome over on HBO Max if Zack Snyder wrote and directed a Darkseid origin story as a companion piece to Zack Snyder's Justice League? Now, come on. How awesome would that be? So finally, on today's edition of the DCEU Daily this Friday, we're going to read an article from the Cultured Nerd, because we know the Cultured Nerd is a friend, right? So, comics, cartoon. Anyway, I don't want to read that. The Snyder Cut will bring back the heart of Justice League, written by Kyle Goodman. The original vision Zack Snyder had for Justice League movie had a much larger role for Ray Fisher's Cyborg. The release of Zack Snyder's Justice League 2021 will restore the director's original vision, which according to Fisher will hit some hearts. Cyborg was briefly introduced in Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice back in 2016, alongside the other future Justice League members. Victor Stone was a superstar athlete who tragically lost both his mother and the majority of his organic body in a horrific accident. His father, Silas Stone, played by Joe Morton, did everything he could to save what was left of his son. He even used alien technology to rebuild his son with cybernetic enchantments. These developments in a character's life would make anybody not a happy camper. As Fisher in the interview with the nice cast, your body, you've lost your mother, you've lost your ability to play football. One of the defining things that you've established for yourself. You've lost the sense of yourself, and it's about finding that again, finding that humanity again, said Fisher. This is something they ripped out of Justice League, right? How the hell, right, do you rip out Cyborg's arc? How the hell can someone with a straight face rip out Darkseid from a Justice League movie? 2 Green Lanterns, and who knows what else? Fisher credited both Zack Snyder and screenwriter Chris Terrio for deeper themes not present in the theatrical version. The 2017 release became a completely different movie under the tutelage of Joss Whedon. And there's a ton of allegory with respect to that in being a black man and just the journey that black people have taken in this country, Fisher embarked. You can't go as deep as you allow it to. And I thank my stars that I was in the capable hands of Chris and Zach to be like, listen, how far are we going to take this? This can't hit some hearts, man. It can really hit some hearts. Sorry. This can hit some hearts, man. It can really hit some hearts. The additional storylines and scenes from Zack Snyder's Justice League will show a far more in-depth backstory for the hero. Cyborg's role seemed to be somewhat of an afterthought in the theatrical release, taking a backseat to the power-backed lineup of Superman, Wonder Woman and Batman. So far, 2020 has been riddled with release dates for movies, novels and most of the entertainment business being put on hold or delayed. The news of Zack Snyder's Justice League finally being released was a ray of sunshine in the darkness of uncertainty. Fisher echoed that same sentiment by saying that the announcement may be the turnaround for 2020 people need. Something to look forward to and hope for. Brilliant. Great article, nice cast, the cultured nerd. Yes, it's very, it is so awesome and so exciting. As I say, how can you rip that arc out? Of course, Joss Whedon didn't have a choice because he had Kevin Sujihara breathing down his neck saying, I only want a 2-hour or 1 hour, 58-minute movie. What could Joss do? Nothing. Ultimately, he removed the best parts of the movie. He shouldn't have removed anything. Because if he was truly Zack's friend and he was just coming in to finish off Zack's movie, none of that would have happened. Of course, we know that now. But as I say, you can't rip out Darkseid from a Justice League movie. You can't. How can you do it? It's absolutely ridiculous. And in closing today, I just want to talk about the members of this fandom and this movement, whatever we want to call ourselves. There are still civil wars going on within the movement. These are things I don't want to be involved in. There's still this us and them situation. There's a lot of people who resent people who, let's just say, may or may not be the face of the movement. I don't believe there's any faces of the movement. There's certainly people who have done better with it than others, right? There's people making money out of their standing, right? Out of their fandom, right? And that's cool. They're doing well on YouTube. They're very popular. We should be happy for them. Be happy for these people. Let's stop going at each other. It has to end. It's over. The facts are these, right? John Aaron Garza was right. There was money needed to complete the Snyder Cut. And who knows how far these changes that Zack's making are going to go, right? We could get the scary stuff that Zack told us about, right? We don't know. So he was right. So there's no point keep on going and going on both sides. And I've seen it on both sides. This is ridiculous. You all have to stop. We are being accused of being toxic. And it doesn't just reflect on us. Whatever reflects on us reflects on Snack. The Snack reflects on Zack Snyder, right? It makes him look dumb. And he's not a dumb guy. He's a great guy. So we need, even if you don't like someone, I'm not saying you have to like them, but stop boring on about it. Focus on the excitement for what's going to happen. with Zack Snyder's Justice League, with potentially David Ayer's Suicide Squad, and this expanded universe, cinematically and on HBO Max. These are very exciting times for all DC fans. And I want to see those frowns turn into smiles. Because after all, we are in a situation nobody ever thought we'd ever be in. Comment down below. Like, share and subscribe, and I'll be back tomorrow with even more DCEU Daily. Hang on, I want to show you something else. So, this is what I was talking about. David Ayer posted this on his story, right? And it basically says, David Ayer's Suicide Squad on HBO Max in 2021. Now, fans asked him about this and said, is this an announcement? He said, no, this is from fans. Interesting. What are they waiting for to announce this movie? Because you know what, my friends? One thing's for sure. It's happening. But they're keeping us on a leash right now. But there's so many announcements to be made. And now, apparently, there's some kind of virtual, like Zoom, Comic-Con going to happen. I don't know if Warner Brothers will be involved in that. So we're going to have to wait and see. Nothing can stop this industry from rolling and getting the hype train ready. After all, it's all about the dollars. So in the next couple of months, some really exciting announcements to come. And I'm sure there'll be a lot more to talk about on tomorrow's DCEU Daily. And I will see you again then. Bye-bye.